Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial.
Hello.
Oh, look, it's working.
Yay. Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Confidently Controversial.
Did you want me to say the second part?
I paused and then I was like, no, I can just do the whole thing.
I really feel like we haven't established how this intro works yet.
We haven't.
Because sometimes you like to say your own name and my name, and sometimes you like us to introduce ourselves. So as the boss of this podcast, you need to decide.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's my decision as boss of this podcast.
Okay.
We keep it fun and we keep it loose and things change from episode to episode. And that's the magic of Confidently.
Like.
That's what the people like. They like that about Confidently Controversial. How are you doing, Kim?
I'm good, Emily.
Okay. That's good to hear.
That's how we establish who is who. Did you see that, guys? Did you figure it out?
You're just pulling back the curtain today on the Confidently Controversial pod. Seriously. I feel so exposed now. I feel seen. So that's good.
Safe, seen, and heard?
I feel all those things right now.
Good.
So yeah, it's another podcast, another week.
It is.
How was your past week?
It was all right. It was a little, crazy wild, but it was good. Crazy and wild. Whoa. What did you do? I went to work every day.
I went to bed by 9:00.
Can I start by telling you something fun?
Yes, please.
I didn't get you a Christmas present yet because I was waiting for it to come in the mail.
Okay.
You may have noticed.
I did the same with yours. Yeah.
Okay. But it came in the mail.
It did?
Yeah, and I'm going to give it to you right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
On the pod?
Well, this is part of it, but and it's not wrapped at all.
It's okay. It's in a bag. I'll narrate it.
I'm still excited about it, and I want you to have it.
Oh, it's a sweatshirt. It's a material sweatshirt thing. Let's see what it is. What's on this? Oh my God. It's a Confidently Controversial podcast sweatshirt. Oh my God. Did you get one for yourself?
Yes, of course I did.
Oh my God. It's so cool. Kim, we should put these for sale so people can buy them. Like, they're really nice. It's like our little circle logo with the little
cootie catcher
on it, and it says Confidently Controversial on a gray sweatshirt. It's a lovely soft sweatshirt.
Isn't it so exciting?
It's so exciting. I'm gonna put it on right now.
Do it.
Okay. Wow. Well, where'd you get it?
I ordered it online, and then it took a really long time to come in.
Okay.
And then it kept telling me that it had arrived at the post office, but that they had refused to accept it for some reason. So I was just watching it just sit there, and then when the box came, it was real fucked up. Like, it had looked like someone had smushed it.
Well, that's probably, remember I told you how the people at the post office got real mad at me, but they didn't know it was me the one day because I was like, you know how like when you go into the post office and you open up the little like door and you can put your mail in there. So I was sending back Stitch Fixes, which are in those like big bags.
Right.
And the one, it fit. It was just, and it fit all the way in, except that when I went to close the thing, it wouldn't close. So like whatever was behind it, there was too much. So it wouldn't just drop it into the bin behind there. So I just I just gave it a couple little jostles. And someone yelled at me from the other side and they said, "Don't do that." And I was like, so shamed. But here's the worst part. The worst part of the story is that I couldn't just turn around and run out of the building because I had business in the post. I also had to go into like the main area. Like that was in the
part of the post office.
Right. Like that was in the vestibule and I had to go in. And when I was in, there was like a big line of people because it was around, Christmas. So, Christmas.
Sure.
And they were talking and they were talking shit about, they were like, I don't know why someone would do that. And like they were talking about the person who was jostling the thing and the lady was still mad and it was me. And I'm like, shit, like what if they know it's me when I get up there? And then like the thing I was mailing was really important. And I was just thinking like, oh my God, like what if they know it's me? And the thing that I'm mailing, they like toss it somewhere else and it doesn't get to where it needs to go.
You think postal employees do vendettas?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't?
I don't. I know the nicest postal employee in the whole wide world.
And
she's a good friend. And I think that the way that she just loves the post office that they would never do anything bad.
I think she would never do anything
No,
bad.
she wouldn't.
She's a lovely person. She also probably wouldn't have yelled at me for jostling the thing.
That's fair. She wouldn't have.
So, you know, these were surly male ladies.
Yes.
And I don't think they were happy about their lives in the moment.
Stop. Don't make assumptions about them. It was Christmas time at the post office. You know that's a stressful place.
I know. Why can't I be mad at these people?
I don't know.
I was ashamed. I just was really...
workers. I would have not gone to the same post office. I would have went to a different post office to do my business.
Yeah, but that's a bridge too far. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm here. It took me a lot. It takes a lot to get me into the post office in the first
Yeah, I
place.
know.
So it's kind of like, I'm here, and yeah, and then I'm thinking like, oh no, what if they say something to me?
They wouldn't.
And I was like, all right, if I get a vibe, then I'll just take my stuff and I'll go. But if I don't, like, it's because it was in another room, so it was highly unlikely that they saw it was me.
So you think people that are in positions like that are will take advantage of their position of power to fuck your day up?
Absolutely, you don't.
Well, I don't know, but then I immediately think about that time that you
Wait, what did I do? What are you gonna say?
you threw a fit about a hair place that we were going to.
Oh no!
Do you remember?
I do.
What, like, something happened?
Wait,
like,
no, I didn't throw a fit.
they canceled our appointments or something.
Yes, they did, but like it was, they messed something up. I think they canceled our appointments, but they did it like right before, or I don't remember, but whatever it was kind of like it sucked.
Yeah.
What happened?
And you got mad at them.
I did.
And you were like, listen, Buster, you need to fix this
Yeah.
or I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
And then we went and we got our hair done. And what happened to me, Emily? The person who didn't throw a fit, what happened to that person?
She got Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
And you were real sad afterwards.
I was so sad.
But I will also say that the person who did our hair was like a pompous asshole.
Yeah, and like we found out later, like maybe a child molester.
Perhaps.
But either way, that was not it was not justified for him to make me a goth.
It really did.
My skin was like winter, and I was like the palest I've ever been in my entire life, and I had jet black hair, and it was supposed to be like a chestnutty brown color. And I'll never forget, we were driving up the parkway, and I was like sobbing in the car. And then I went to another place to get it fixed, and I walked in, and every lady in there had goth black hair. And I was like, fix this, it's horrible. And they were like, we don't know what you're talking about, we love it.
I know. Yeah, the dyed hair stuff, it really wasn't but my hair turned out great, I think.
Yeah,
from that
I know,
time.
I remember. Yeah,
sorry.
it was me. It was all me. But
They shouldn't have dyed your hair. You have lovely colored hair. It like perfectly matches your skin tone and your face.
I have a theory that my hair cannot accept dye.
I mean, it accepted it.
It was not good not in a good way. And I remember also one time when we were younger and one of our good friends dyed my hair and she started crying when she pulled the the filters
She
off.
was also doing my hair at the same time, and she did start crying and just said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like she was trying to get, it was like a highlight kit.
Yeah.
And she was trying to put highlights, and it had been on for a while.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, let me check. And then she just like got teary eyed and just said, I'm sorry. And I ran to the bathroom and I was like, Kim, go.
So we were like cleaning our heads in the tub.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
was.
Yeah.
That was.
And I feel like
good.
that time my hair was like all brown except for the front, which was like orangey yellow. I've seen pictures of that time. I'm like, what is wrong
I know.
with that
I had
person?
some really poor hair choices throughout my life, but then I also feel like it grows back.
Yeah.
Like, try it. If you want to try that hairstyle and do something different, do it, because it'll just grow back.
Well, I think that my hair does not accept the dye properly because I've never had a really good dye job.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason maybe why my hair doesn't turn as gray.
I just think that like your skin tone and your hair are just perfectly matched. And
I am
anything
pretty perfect. Thank you.
You are. And anything like that deviates, I think it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So what?
All right.
So yeah. So well, that's great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the thing, I wanted to bring something up.
All right.
And I know we've been talking for a little bit, but have you noticed that nowadays it is quite common to see a year-round skeleton?
Yes.
Almost like a year-round Christmas tree.
Yes.
And a yard skeleton.
Yes, yard skeletons very popular.
Year-round yard skeletons.
Yeah, there's that family, that I know there's a family that they live out by us, and they have like a bench in front of their house with multiple skeletons.
Yes, I know
those skeletons are always living their best lives based on the season.
Oh, yeah. They do Pride Month with those skeletons.
And they do everything. Easter, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, Christmas.
Looking forward to Martin Luther King Day on Monday.
Yeah. Like a special trip.
Sorry.
I'd be most excited if I drove past in February and they had, like, instead of Valentine's Day, they did, like, Lincoln skeleton and Washington skeleton.
It's so funny. That always makes me think of President's Day. Always makes me think of the billboard, not the billboards, the bulletin boards when you were a little kid, and there would always be like
Silhouettes.
a Washington and a Lincoln and hearts. It would always be like pink and red.
Right. They were in love. Where they were facing each other usually. Because it was like their profile.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's nice. Maybe they were in love. I mean, they did not live at the same time.
And I feel like by having President's Day and combining those two folks, it made me very confused about which one of the presidents chopped down the cherry tree.
Abraham Lincoln.
Is
Washington.
Yeah, see? Confusion.
Well, because Honest Abe.
Yeah, but...
So he was honest that he chopped down the cherry tree. Isn't that the whole story is about honesty?
I don't know. But I thought Washington did it.
I don't know.
See? Confusion.
All right. Well, we'll look into this important thing. But let's get into our movie.
All right. Let's get into our movie. So I actually researched 2 movies.
Why? We're not watching 2 movies, are we?
No, we're not watching 2 movies.
Okay.
But I...
I have things to do today, Kim.
Okay. You're very important. I know. So I did one last night, and then this morning I woke up and I wasn't super happy with it. So I have 2 movies. Would you like to choose?
Oh, wow. Okay. This is different. Yes.
All right. So I have one movie that is, that was described as, are you ready for this?
Yes.
A series of comic one-liners leading to a teary tragedy.
Oh, for God's sake. What's the other one?
The other one, one of the people in the movie described as Mary Poppins with breasts.
Mary Poppins with breasts. Okay. I think that's going to be Weird Science.
That's Weird Science, yes.
Okay. And the other one, a series of one-liners leading to a tragedy?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Oh, I have to tell you both of them?
And then I get to pick, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to pick based off of just the description.
Oh, I have to pick based on the descriptions?
But I guess.
No, I have one. You have to tell me the other one. What's the other one?
All right, well, but then I don't get to go into my whole thing.
Okay.
All right, we're doing the other one.
Okay. Jeez. Okay, fine.
You
we're
lost
doing
your
the other
chance because you guessed it.
one. Okay.
All
Sorry.
right.
What is it?
All right, so this one, this movie is a series of comic one-liners leading to a teary tragedy, as I said. And
Wait. Is this the one you woke up this morning and wanted to do?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You know, I've been feeling a little bit like, I've been sending you all those videos to make you cry this week.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, yesterday I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, you made me cry several times yesterday with these, like, little nice videos.
I know, that kid was Spider-Man, man. Whew.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyway, okay. So this was originally a play, and it was based off a true story. The play was written by Robert Harling.
Oh, I know what this is going to be.
And it is based on the life and death of his sister.
This is Steal Magnolias.
Who had type 1 diabetes.
Oh, man. I'm excited to watch this movie. I haven't seen it in so long.
Okay. They said, so Robert Harling wrote this play, and his sister died in 1985. This movie came out on November 15th, 1989.
Okay.
And it's a comedy/drama movie. And it really helped him come to terms with the death of his sister and the experience that he had. His mother was actually on set the day that Julia Roberts filmed the death scene.
Oh.
And he wanted her to leave. Like, he urged her to go. But his mom got a lot of, I I guess, solace from the fact that Julia Roberts then got up and walked away. You know what I mean? Like she didn't really die, obviously.
Right.
So originally when this play was made, it was an all-female play. It was just about the women in this. And then, and it was written in only 10 days. So he turned it around really, really fast. This movie did exceptionally well. Like, it's funny to me because every week we're like, it did so well. It made 18 million. It did so well. It made 40 million. It did just okay. It made 35 million. And I'm not clear how people...
I think it's how much it costs.
Right. But this movie, for me, did great. It made $83.7 million.
I'd like that many $1 million.
Yes, and it made another $40 million on VHS. So total $136 million.
That's a lot of millions. That launched Miss Julia Roberts, right?
It did, yeah.
Yes. Shelby?
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Aw, Shelby, drink your juice.
So this movie stars Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, Daryl Hannah, Olympia Dukakis, Julia Roberts, friend of the pod, Tom Skerritt.
Oh, Tom, I missed you.
Sam Shepard, and Dylan McDermott.
Okay.
Overall, very positive reviews for the film, although some people weren't... I feel like when you get schmaltzy and mix it with comedy, people get uncomfortable.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but I think people are just like, no, I want it to be this one thing. I want it to be very much like live in this world. And when it lives in both worlds, people are confused and scared. Yeah. And they're like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So Hal Hinson from the Washington Post, he said, it's more Hollywood than the South. So he was kind of like... I don't know, maybe just bagging on it a little bit.
Okay.
But Ebert, he really liked it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love Ebert.
Yeah. And it was actually filmed in the hometown of Robert Harling, who was the author of the play / movie, which is Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Don't ever say the name of that town again.
Natchitoches.
I told you not to.
It's got a lot of T's and C's in it.
Okay.
And he really like insisted upon the fact that it be filmed there.
Okay.
The role of Shelby, which ultimately went to Julia Roberts, they considered Winona Ryder for it.
Okay.
And they also had Meg Ryan like basically signed up to do it, but she dropped out to make When Harry Met Sally.
That was a good choice for her. I feel like she's a little bit colder. I think
she would have been lost in this movie. I feel like Julia Roberts really does stand out in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Julia Roberts was nominated for an Oscar for the film, and she also won the Golden Globe.
Okay.
Sally Field was also nominated for a Golden Globe. She didn't win. It won the People's Choice Award for Best Dramatic Motion Picture.
Did Sally Field win the Oscar for this movie?
She didn't.
Okay.
No. One other thing I read was that Nicole Kidman, when she was in Australia coming up as an actress, she played the role of Shelby in a stage production in Australia.
Okay.
Interesting, I guess.
Sure.
The role of Truvy, which is played by Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah.
Was actually written for Margot Martindale.
I don't know who that is.
You would recognize her if you saw her. She was friends with Robert Harling.
Okay.
And there was a Steal Magnolias TV show that was everything. The 80s, man, they were just like, everything had to become a TV show.
Yes.
They really pushed.
TV was a big thing. It's interesting. I was listening to Bill Maher's podcast, and he was talking about being a comedian because he came up in the 80s and how that was the goal. The goal was like you were going to go on Johnny Carson or Night or some sort of late night, and then someone was going to see you, and then you were going to get a sitcom. You were going to act. So it was really more the goal because he was saying in his early career that's really how he made most of his money was by doing acting jobs.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people talk about like that. Like even like John Mulaney, that was his trajectory as well. Like he was a writer and stand-up, but then they made a television show for him, and it didn't go. And then when it didn't go, it was kind of like it's over, you know. But obviously, it's not over.
Well, I think there's been a pathway created for. I know this is off track, but like I feel like there's been a pathway created for comedians to not have to just be comedians. Like you look at like Brian
Netflix.
Regan.
Well, I mean, Netflix has really, made that possible. Or even HBO back in the day. Absolutely. Like if you got your big stand-up special, you could simply be a comedian and make a lot of money.
I I feel like this movie made us all know Olympia Dukakis.
Yeah.
But she was also, I mean, she was in Moonstruck, but I don't know which one came first. I think she was nominated for an Academy Award for Moonstruck.
Was before this.
Okay.
Because this was 1989.
Okay. Yeah, probably. She was probably known.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of our movies are 1989, and that must be like when we were like aging into really like
paying attention
and choosing things on our own.
I remember, I mean, this movie, I don't think I saw this in the movie theater, but I watched it a lot at home, and I just remember crying.
Yes.
Like it's a tearjerker. Yes, for sure.
Right.
But then I wonder if it's going to be, because I feel like Rain Man, in my recollection, was very much sad and a tearjerker, but I didn't really cry when we watched it that much.
No, we were just mad at Tom Cruise.
We were really mad at Tom Cruise.
And I remember in this part, like, getting frustrated with Sally Field a little bit. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, why would you be frustrated with her?
You'll
She's
see.
so cute.
I know. Originally, I guess Elizabeth Taylor saw this as a play, as the stage production, and was very interested in participating in the movie.
Okay.
And she pitched it that she would play Malin. Betty Davis would play Weezer.
Oh, no.
And Katharine Hepburn would play Clarice.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Connecting us back to our old Hollywood Mommy Dearest episode.
Right, exactly.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing. And the fact that, like, that didn't happen by this time probably shows that those ladies were...
They were like, interested.
We're done.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the cast in this was so spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm really interested to see it now as an adult and having adult friendships, because I think it is a lot about the friendships and everything else. Daryl Hannah's in this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she's real dorky in it.
She's
like
real
they
dorky.
Act like she's an uggo, and she's like Daryl Hannah.
Young Dylan McDermott.
Young Dylan McDermott. And
I love him.
Interesting about that is, so Julia Roberts was dating Liam Neeson.
God, Julia Roberts got some good ones.
She's dated a lot of people, yeah.
Yes, she has.
So
Good
she was
for her.
dating Liam Neeson because they started a movie together called Satisfaction, which I almost did that when I read it. I was like,
I've never seen that.
Oh my God.
Actually, no, I have. That's Susanna Hoffs is in that, right? And no, Bateman. Bateman.
Justine Bateman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's great.
Okay.
Well, in my recollection,
Put it on
great.
the list.
It's on my list.
I would like to. I did not remember Liam Neeson being in it. But
Yes.
he wasn't on my radar. But God, he's a hunk.
He was like early 30s in that movie, which I still think is significantly older than Julia Roberts at the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were dating, and she broke up with him to date, and ultimately became engaged to Dylan McDermott during this film.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. He's just...
It's a better choice.
It's a better choice. I mean, he's very good looking. Although, I mean, Liam Neeson's very tall, and he was like a boxer. He's strong. Yeah. And he's got that accent.
I know, but you can't help but think of Liam Neeson now. And I feel like he's like kind of like, I'm over him.
You're over him?
Well, just those
he's like a peepaw now.
Yeah, and like those Taken movies and stuff.
Oh,
and even like
he's sad though. Like I always think of him from Love because
Love
his
Actually.
wife, because in real life his wife did die.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like I feel like that is him.
That is sad.
I know it is.
Jesus, Emily.
And he just like loves his I don't think he got remarried or anything, and he's so he's just like, yeah, I'll do the Taken movies because I'm sad. And it doesn't matter anymore.
And people are going to pay me a lot of money to do it.
I'm going to be, you want me to be in The Grey about wolves? Okay.
What is it?
The Grey. Did you ever see that movie, The
No,
Grey? Oh my
The
God.
Grey.
It's about the wolves, and he goes out and you think it's going to be like Taken, but with wolves.
Sure.
So it's like, okay, I'm in. Let's watch this thing. But it's like an existential thing about death and what happens when you die, and it's real sad. It's like a real it's not sad where you watch it and you're crying. It's more sad
Poor Liam Neeson.
And then in the end, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, in the end he dies too. He gets taken down by the wolves. He doesn't
Oh, no.
He doesn't succeed and just Liam Neeson a bunch of wolves.
That's why the movie's called Wolf. Or
It's called The Grey.
Oh, never mind.
But we digress.
I just wanted to also mention, and I would really like to watch it, and I might propose that we watch it instead.
What?
They made a 2012 remake of this movie for Lifetime, starring Queen Latifah,
Stop.
Jill Scott, Alfre Woodard,
Oh, gosh.
and Felicia Rashad.
Interesting.
And as you know, I am Queen Latifah.
Well, you have to explain that a little bit. You can't just say, I am Queen Latifah.
Well,
and...
So the explanation behind that is the fact that when I was younger, I apparently acted like a fancy princess who should get whatever she wanted.
So out of character.
And my father referred to me as Queen Latifah. He was like, what do you think you are, Queen Latifah? I don't know that he knew who she was.
You're like, UNITY.
Right. It was a lot. So yeah, anyway.
Oh, that's lovely.
Just so you know, because I like to teach you things.
I like to learn.
Robert Harling also wrote Steal Magnolias. While they were on set for this movie, he wrote the movie, he started coming up with the idea of the movie Soap Dish.
Oh, that's a great
Also
movie.
starring Sally Field.
Right.
Because Sally Field wanted to play a different kind of character. She was so sick of playing like sweet mom character.
Sure.
So they set her up in that movie, I believe, to be like
Yeah, that's a great movie. That's on my list,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll come up at some point.
And then he also wrote First Wives Club.
I never saw that.
Oh, it's good.
Bette
Midler, Goldie Hawn, and Diane Keaton. It's good.
These are great movies.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited to watch this. I really am
Yeah.
excited to watch this movie. And like I said, I mean, definitely formative year movie.
Have you seen it recently?
I have not seen it in a very long time.
Okay.
Very, very long time. And, but I mean, I remember it being very, very sad. And I remember not understanding with
lot of
Shelby.
it.
Like, I
Yeah,
didn't
no, I
understand
didn't
a lot
understand
of what was
either.
going on.
I also
and is
think-
that how diabetes works?
I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
a doctor.
But I mean, I guess it is. I guess you could go into diabetic shock. Is that diabetic shock? Is that what's happening
I
to
don't
her?
know, Emily.
Okay.
Like I said, not a doctor.
Okay.
Although I could be.
You could be.
Person most likely in my house to be a doctor.
That's true. I think I'm the person in my house most likely to be a doctor
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. Dr. Mom. Dr. Mom. That's
right.
me.
All right, you ready to watch it?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
All right, bye.
Controversial. Confidently controversial.
I don't even know what to say.
We're back.
So Kim, my best friend, who is always like, I don't like sad things. I don't like to watch sad movies, picks a movie that we didn't just like tear up. I mean, wept.
Yeah, ugly cry.
Like ugly cried.
sobbed.
Like my face is like swollen and weird.
I'm red and puffy. I need some ice cubes.
I want to just lay down. I just want to lay down.
So sad.
It's so sad. Like the last half hour,
Yeah.
it's just like thing after thing, and you're just, oh my goodness gracious, Shelby,
drink your juice.
Shelby, drink your juice. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you haven't watched it in a long time, you forget
yes.
how fucking sad it is.
When I was thinking about it, so the part I remember always making me cry is the part at the funeral.
Yeah.
When Sally Field is like
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
her big
real
speech
sad.
and real sad and real like upset.
Sure.
I remember that making me cry.
Yes.
I didn't remember like the whole her in the hospital and like on the machines. And even like from the beginning, they're making you cry with shit.
Yeah.
Like it was just throughout the movie.
I know.
Lots of crying was happening.
Lots of crying.
But-
in the hospital scene, when Shelby's in the hospital, you know, this was based on a true story of the guy's brother. All the nurses and stuff like that were the actual nurses that took care of his sister.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, guys, yesterday, I'm just minding my own fucking business, and Kim keeps sending me things on reels in Instagram that are all like little sick kids in the hospital and like, you know, kids in front of their parents, you know, with big smiles on their faces, just like those like tear jerkery little reels things. And I'm like, why is she like, what is that? So are you okay?
I'm in a mood.
What is it? Winter? You
I
got
think
the blues?
so. Seasonal affective disorder is real.
Oh my God, get on a plane and go somewhere. Like, this is crazy. You have to stop. Let's talk about this movie. Because, I have not seen this in quite a while. It's, and it's funny because you had said in your description of it, it's a series of one-liners, like, capped off with a big tragedy.
Yeah.
And the thing I just kept thinking of watching is it's very obvious it's a play. Or is originally a play. And I wonder how much of the play, because the dialogue feels like dialogue in a play.
Yes.
I don't think it's bad. I mean,
no, I think it's very, very good. And I think it's very well acted. I mean, obviously, how could it not be? It has a lot of like sensational people in it.
Tour de force.
Tour de force.
Yeah, it is. It's sensational. Even like the small parts. You have Sam Shepard. You have Tom frickin' Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt. Top notch.
Top notch. I do question the deep V that he wore to when they pulled the plug on his daughter.
I feel like they did that to like help us calm down a little bit. Like you and I are full like, and then we saw Tom Skerritt in a deep V, and we were like, like look at that guy.
Like, what's happening?
Right.
So I just felt like it definitely sounded like a play. Now, have you spent time in the South?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I had an ex-boyfriend that was from Georgia.
Okay. Is it like that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that South portrayed in that was definitely like more provincial, like people act, bless your heart.
Sure.
But it's very, I don't know.
Well, I feel like it's still like that now. The thing so in this True V, who's Dolly Parton, and the whole movie, and I think the play all takes place there, right? My understanding is like, it's in the beauty salon for the most part.
Okay.
But the beauty salon is like part of her house.
Yes.
And I feel like, in fact, when in the story that we spoke about in the first part of the podcast, when Kim's hair turned into Edward Scissorhands, that was like a house salon, like connected to someone's house. And I feel like that is a thing that just exists in like little towns like ours.
For sure.
Yeah. Which is weird. But
if you think about it, it's pretty weird, but that somebody would open just like a beauty salon in the back of their house. But I guess like that's probably how it started out. And then they, now you're required to have a license and you have to do all this stuff. But it was probably just people that could cut hair did cut hair. And they just like, were like, come on over.
Yeah. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about something, the very controversial thing with this movie, which is the depiction of type 1 diabetes.
Yes.
Which is what Shelby has. And I will tell you, so the first time you see this, the movie starts with her wedding. And so they're all getting
for her wedding. It's the day of her wedding.
It's the day of her wedding. And everybody's, there's a lot of stuff happening. And they're going over to Truvy's to get, and when I say they, it's Shelby and her mom are going over to Truvy's. Malin are going over to get their hair did for the wedding. And at that point in time, Shelby has a diabetes. She gets hypoglycemic, which is what happens when your blood sugar gets real low when you have diabetes. Right. Now, I read, because it was so intense.
Oh, yeah.
It was like more like an epileptic seizure.
Yes, but also there was like a fit of anger as well. And like, she's like ripping at her hair and like being shitty to her mom. Which I feel like you just take any opportunity. You're just like, fuck it, I don't feel good. Get away from me, mother.
Like she starts pulling at her hair and she like is fighting to like eat the juice. Like, whereas it's like, did she lose her mind? Does she not know that she needs the juice?
They put like the candy in her mouth and she basically spits the candy back out.
Yeah, she spits the juice out too.
Yeah.
And like the mom's being all, and I mean, it definitely is depicting, but it was very intense.
It is intense, but it's also very, I think it's like meant to show like that this group of women, like they all immediately jump into action.
Oh yes, as women do,
right? And they know what to do, and they're to how to help, and they're just such good friends.
We're not gonna do this. They are really good friends.
Yeah,
but I feel like you also see like the mom taking, and like it sets that all up, and that's really sad. And then when because the reason, other than being, but let me go back to
okay. Sorry.
I can't even talk. Jesus.
Go.
God. So I was reading that diabetics, like, that's not how it is. Like,
No.
and that's what I said after the thing. I'm like, is this what diabetes is? Because I know in the 80s, no one had diabetes, but I feel like now everybody has diabetes.
Well, first of all, there's a difference between type 1 diabetes
Sure.
and type 2 diabetes. And my understanding is the symptoms and complications from each of those illnesses is different.
Sure.
And we went to school with someone who had type 1 diabetes. And I remember it being a thing that was talked about.
Sure.
But I don't know that I never saw her spit juice anywhere.
Well, she also managed. I mean, and that was the other thing where they said the way they depict diabetes in this movie is not
Truthful.
it's not the typical experience.
No.
Like the thing I was reading said, sure, she could have a special case. And they did say that at one point. They're like, your case is special because people with diabetes, even type 1 diabetes, have children all the time.
Yes, are able to manage it. I think what the distinction was in this is that her kidneys were more bad than other people's. And that's why she ultimately had to have the kidney transplant. And then her body rejected that kidney, which happens.
Sure.
So then she was on life support.
Oh my God. But her mom gave her kidney too.
I know.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then she was on life support and ultimately like she wasn't getting better.
Yeah.
And then they had to decide to
Jackson signed the paper.
Yeah, he had to decide to turn it off. But then the mom, she stayed till the end.
She did.
Because she's so strong.
But the other thing I read was that they really don't show her managing her diabetes.
Right.
And which also makes you wonder, like, is she managing her diabetes?
Well,
because she didn't bring her purse with her. If she has an extreme case of diabetes,
Sure.
why is she going anywhere without some insulin?
Yeah. And then I think that's the thing. She didn't want the juice. She wanted to do her insulin. And that's why she was fighting back. But I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like I also think that speaks to her character. Obviously, it seemed like she's somebody who's not going to listen to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
She cuts all of her hair off at one point in this movie, which is a mistake. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so bad.
But yeah.
But also, like, you come to understand that she's cutting it off because she's a mom about to have a kidney transplant who doesn't have time to do her hair. And I think the expectation of beauty in the South at that time was to always be pulled together.
Right.
Then she got some shit haircut that just made her look bad shit.
I mean, couldn't they?
Yeah. I know. They gave her a real bad wig.
Yeah, they did. But I guess that is the thing. It's that she just wanted to make her life simple and, you know, she wasn't going to be able to manage it. But I feel like aside from that, the main story going throughout, but there's just some lovely little side stories throughout. Forgot Daryl Hannah in this, whose character, Anil, which I forgot about the whole she gets real religious.
I forgot about that part too.
Which is really funny to me.
Yeah.
It's also funny to me that her beau stays with her even when he's just obviously like, oh, you're
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny and maybe shines a light just on relationships where it's kind of like, well, in the South or maybe at the time, it doesn't matter if I'm fully I'm fully getting along with this person, I'm still going to marry her and I'm still going to have a baby with her.
I also think too, I mean, she like comes to this town in the first place because her current husband, whose name is Bunky Depew.
Well, they never say. Oh, I had to tell everybody this. They never say Bunky Depew in this. They say Bunky and they say Depew. Like at different points because she's like my husband Bunky and then they call her Miss Depew or whatever. And so
It's the first time you've heard it.
It's the first time I've heard it. You put it together.
Bunky Depew.
Bunky Depew. Oh my gosh. I loved her in this. I think she's like terribly awkward, but she does a really good performance.
Oh, she does such a good job. And then she has like a bit of a glow up.
She does.
When she's like more
and then she
confident.
Right.
And then she gets very religious, which good for her.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about my favorite in this is the relationship between the two older ladies.
Oh my God.
Which is Clary, who's Olympia Dukakis, and then Weezer,
which is Shirley MacLaine.
And I hope that's me and you when we
I think it is us now.
Now, are you, who's Weezer and who's Clary?
I want to say that I'm Clary, but I know I'm not.
I know you're not.
I've just been in a bad mood for 40 years.
You are Weezer.
I know. I have a problem with everyone.
And I would definitely like be the one who like pissed you off for some reason.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love it. No, I love that whole
Oh my
friendship
God.
throughout.
And I gotta be honest, I mean, Weezer is goals.
Weezer is amazing.
She doesn't give a shit about anything. I love that she's fully just like, yeah, I know everyone's nice to me because I have a lot of money.
Right. Well, she walks around wearing like denim overalls and a fur coat and diamond earrings.
Yeah.
And she says at one point, I'm trying not to eat anything healthy.
Right. And then she talks about the fact that like she knows that as a Southern woman, she's supposed to wear hats and grow vegetables.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Awesome. She's awesome.
She is awesome. I loved her. I mean, Sally Field does a great job in this movie.
Oh, she
as
really
well.
does. At the end, you're just like, and that's the thing too. Like, I feel like you didn't see a lot of stories or movies like this in the 80s. Like this type of, even now, it doesn't really exist where you're seeing the focus is like, yes, Shelby got married to this man, but the focus of this relationship or this movie is the relationship with her mom.
Oh, yeah.
And her mom, like, trying to take care of her. And guys,
Stop.
And her mom just, oh my God.
Oh my God, we're falling apart, people.
Her mom just trying to do good by her, you know?
She really is.
And then too, like, I don't even know what it was, but there was like a point when, they're at this like Christmas party, and when the dad, Drum, also a weird name, announced
Short for Drummond.
Right.
Or Drumstick.
Probably a drumstick. The dad announces that Shelby's pregnant to the whole room, and her friends immediately know that Melina is going to be upset about this. And
Well, no, they don't immediately know. They go to congratulate her.
Right.
But then they see that she's upset.
Yeah. But then they like rally around her because it's friendship.
It is friendship. And they're all like, it's going to be okay. And we're going to make sure it's okay.
Right. And we're here for you because we know that this is going to be difficult for you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I also forgot about the part where you see Shelby's arms because she's in dialysis.
Oh, yeah.
And they did something weird. Like whoever was the special effects makeup people did.
They probably didn't have a special effects person, and then they were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, like do something there,
Right.
make it look bad
Make
on
it
her
look
arm.
gross.
But I remember being younger and seeing that and being like, "What is dialysis?"
Right.
Do they drive like a tube up your arm? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a very emotional movie, very much about friendship, and it was lovely in that way. It's surprising to me to think about the fact that a man wrote this.
Yeah.
Like, I get if it's about his mom and his sister, which is very nice. But the relationship, the friendships are very. I'm surprised that a man wrote it because they are very accurately depicted.
They're very real female friendships in that, like, there is our friendship. We care about each other a lot. I wouldn't hug you if someone gave me $12. But at the same time, like, if you called me and were just like, come, I would.
Oh, I know. Same.
Yeah, don't cry about it.
I'm not.
But at the same time, like, we joke to each other. We know that we can be honest with each other and say, don't cry.
Why are you being like this?
Because this is what the movie's about.
Are you going to tell me you have cancer or something? Like, what's happening?
I have type 1 diabetes.
Sorry to all the diabetics out there.
Yeah. We're not making fun of it. We're making fun of each other.
Oh, dear Lord. God.
There's a lot of, there's talk about this too. And I think it's interesting the way that they're super accepting of it. But like their thing as a friendship group is just to talk shit on everyone.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best.
At one point, I think Clarice, she says, if you can't say something nice, come sit by me.
Yep. It's
and
great.
I feel that.
Yes, very much. Because that's my favorite thing to do, especially at a party or something. It's like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go talk some smack.
Right.
I also think it's funny. A big thing in this is I had never eaten or seen red velvet cake.
Oh, when this movie
When
came
this
out.
movie came out.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, this wasn't something that was like a thing in my house at all.
It's very popular now. Like, you can buy a boxed red velvet cake, but when we were kids, that wasn't something.
It wasn't like a thing. So I remember in this movie they have a groom's cake, which is an armadillo made of red velvet cake, and I remember like seeing it and being like, I kind of want to try that cake.
Yeah,
red velvet cake's pretty good.
Would you eat the armadillo butt that Weezer gives Drum?
I absolutely would eat the armadillo butt. I mean, it was a really good movie. I'm glad to have watched it again.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to ever watch it again. Also not easy to watch given that the family structure is the same as my family.
Yeah.
So like oldest daughter and then two sons, two goofball sons.
Right.
That's my family.
Right.
So I was like, ugh.
Yeah. I think it's sweet too. Like, Weezer and Drum definitely have this like contentious relationship, and they basically like act like enemies throughout the whole thing.
Sure.
But then like at Shelby's funeral, like Weezer walks by the dad and like gives her like a little punch on the shoulder, or she gives him like a little punch on the back.
Yeah.
Just to be like, I'm here for you, man.
I know.
Love you.
I know. It was really nice. And I feel like anybody who makes, I get it. A movie like this, super schmaltzy. It's a tearjerker. It is all of those things, but it also has some really delightful moments.
Well, there's so many good one-liners. Like, I found a whole article where you can like go through and they give you all of the great things that are said in it. And I mean, it's just, I started to write them down and I was like, there's just so many.
There's so many.
Like every single
Give me a good one. Give me a good one. Hit me.
I haven't left the house without Lycra on these thighs since I was 14.
I know. It's like all of these things are things that would be on a coaster.
Right. The nicest thing I can say about her is that all her tattoos are spelled correctly.
I know. They all go by so fast, too, because they're also talking real fast and with their southern accents.
Yeah.
The relationship between Truvy and her husband is also featured a lot through this. So her husband is like, he doesn't really go places for, like, you know, she's going to the wedding by herself.
Yeah.
And he's not really going places with her.
And I think, too, well, what's interesting, I mean, he's depressed.
Yes.
He's not doing well in his work. Mm-hmm. And so his depression shows up in the fact that he's withdrawing and basically doesn't want to do anything and has no interest in anything.
Sure.
But this is the 80s. So we don't talk about depression. Yeah. For instance, like Malin, she works at like some guidance center or something.
Right.
And they just want to know about all like the gossipy stories that happen. They want to know who the crazy people are in the town. And
at one point she actually says to Weezer, like, hey, you should actually come over to the guidance center. And it was like, what are you talking about?
That's what she says. She says, I'm not crazy. I've just been in a bad mood for 4 years. And they Truvy calls them sick tickets. I know there's a lot of sick tickets in this town. So, and then also there's a reference to, was it Coralie? What's her name?
Who? Which one?
Coralie.
Claret.
About her gay nephew.
Oh, yes.
And they kind of like talk smack on that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they're not like,
no,
they're not talking smack in like a derogatory, well, I mean,
if you were gay and you heard that, you'd be like, like you wouldn't feel good about yourself.
No. But it's hot and spicy goss that they're excited to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much at the time. I love just the hair and the outfits, but I don't know. I just think so many movies try, especially after that movie, I think there's been a lot of movies that try to get to what this movie is, and they don't achieve it. And I think there's a lot of reasons why this movie is, why people like this movie. And I don't care that it's schmaltzy. And I don't care that it's got a lot of, like, quippy one-liners. And, I don't care that I'm a big fucking puffy mess from crying after this movie. I like this movie, and I don't care who knows it. I don't want to watch it again.
No,
anytime. I don't know.
I feel like I feel like I saw it many, many years ago. And then since then, I've seen bits and pieces. But sitting down and watching the whole thing from beginning to end was rough.
It was rough.
It was exhausting.
Yes.
Emotionally.
Yes.
I also want to say too, I think that this movie does get female friendships right.
Yes.
And I think that's very hard to do in movies because I don't think a lot of movies really show the importance and significance of female friendship. It's often shown as like hot girl and sidekick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I also think that it's real, like, all very, like, serious and huggy girl friendship.
Yeah.
Which I don't...
Or
like,
girls have to behave in a certain way or are, like, they're never allowed to have bad behavior.
Right.
They're meant to be, like, prim and proper and perfect so that a man likes them. And I think this shows women who are real women.
Oh, yeah.
Who talk shit.
Right.
But
still get their hair done.
still get their hair done.
And go to get their nails
keep
done.
Keep it tight.
They keep it tight. They bring their little wigs in, put this fall on my hair.
Right.
A lot of fun. Like, it's funny because I remember, especially Shelby's hair for her wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Is just fantastic. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, oh, I wish my hair could do all that stuff.
Right.
But now I look at it, I'm like, oh, she totally has a fall in hair. It's all fake.
Yeah.
I didn't know that when I was a kid. I'm like, her hair is
Roberts
awesome.
does have a lot of hair in real life.
She does.
And then her wedding is just so over the top, and her colors are
blush and bashful.
right. Which is amazing.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah,
it's just really, if you haven't seen it in a long time, highly recommend sitting down and watching it. But do it like on just a rainy day under a blanket.
Make sure you have a solid mental health provider on standby.
Yeah, betterhelp.com.
Right.
Also, okay, guys. So it's the part in the movie where she's gone into a coma, or she's just about to. Yeah, Shelby's about to go into a coma. Kim and I are just like fully just
like it was fully like sound, like crying with sound.
Like we're crying, and all of a sudden Kim's husband starts coming down the room. We're like, get out of here.
Don't you look at us.
And I'm like, no, seriously, you have to go.
And he just kind of stood there for a minute, and then finally I was just like, no, really, leave. Because I feel like normally, and we've talked about this before, like when we went and saw the Barbie movie in the movie theater, like I fully cried, but I like pretended I wasn't crying. And you do that thing in the movie theater where you're like, oh, I have such an itchy eye.
Right. I feel like I start like licking my lips.
Right. Right. And then you're just like, achoo, I have to wipe my mouth.
I try and I do like the wide eye thing, like absorb them back into my eyes.
Take it back. So like you pretend you're fine. And then, and normally, like, when I watch a movie with another person, even my husband, I'm just like, whatever, I'm not crying.
Yeah.
But, like, this one, we were fully, like...
He, holds the tissue box over.
It was rough. Like, we were full-on sobbing.
Oh, I'm glad we watched it, though. It was nice. I'm glad I watched it with you.
Yeah, me too.
You're my best friend. You're my best friend.
You're my best friend. Don't touch me ever again.
Oh, it was good, though.
All right. Anything else we have to say about this?
About the movie?
Yeah.
No, just that it was really great. You guys should definitely go watch it. And,
and Dylan McDermott.
Holy crow. Talk about burying the lead.
Right.
What does that one woman say about him at the wedding? At the wedding, she says this to Shelby.
One big hanging man. What does that mean?
We know what it means.
I know what it means.
And why do you say it to the newlywed?
Right. She's like, I know.
And is she saying, like, I know he is because I had sex with your husband?
Oh.
That's what I took from it. Because she kind of walked away, like, with the big, we all know he's a big hanging man. So it's like, what?
Well, and they do, they'd imply that she gets pregnant. Shelby gets pregnant because they're having problems in their relationship, that she's, like, trying to fix it with a baby. Yeah. Which, guys, don't do that.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Yeah, Shelby, okay. I'm sorry. I know we're almost done talking about this, but I have to say this. Shelby is frustrating. And I can see why her mother is very frustrated with her. Because she's not listening to anyone. Right. And she's acting like a child.
But this is why I get frustrated with you.
Oh, God.
Because you don't listen to people, and you don't... You don't follow medical advice. You think, So I'm about to air it all out.
My mom listens to this and she's going to be like, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong.
She's fine.
Kim's talking about, like, if I'm sick or something and a doctor says, take this medicine. And I'm like, I'm fine.
I'm better than medicine.
And you know what? My blood is perfect. And my blood pressure and everything else when I go to the doctor, perfect.
Well, that's because you have to keep it that way because you would never take a medicine to fix it.
I know, because I run and I'm healthy and I eat well. Right. So
you're great.
But Shelby is pretty frustrating in this movie.
Yeah. But at the same time, aren't you mad at her mom? Like, her mom is not nice at all. And I feel like if you like Disney Vacations, your mom needs to be nice to you about it.
Oh man.
If her mom, like her mom was not happy at all about that baby.
Right. And I feel like, obviously her mom loves that baby. And right after, oh God, that's that too.
Yeah.
Right after Shelby dies, she goes and gets the baby.
And she just wants to hug the baby.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And when, oh my God, and when Annelle is going to name the baby Shelby.
Yeah. She's nice.
But yeah, she could be, I see that she's upset. She could go to a place where she's like, I'm so worried and scared. I will love my grandchild
but also,
so much.
I understand.
Right.
I understand why you wanted to do this. I understand why you feel that this is what's right for you. But I'm nervous, and I feel like there's a better way.
Yeah, I think part, and she does work at the mental health place. You think she'd be a little bit better at this talking about stuff.
Well, remember too, they don't want her to work after she gets married. It's very old school in a lot of ways.
But I think that that's all connected to Shelby's. Shelby must have a very serious medical situation.
Yes, she does.
And I just think of it like her mom has been going through this since Shelby was a baby. Like you get type 1 diabetes, you have that when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
So her mom's been dealing with this. And where Shelby says, well, you're just mad because you don't have control and you've always had control. And my thought is and you're jealous. And my thought is, no, her poor mom has probably been through it, going through having a little kid that's sick, that has diabetes.
Yeah.
And in the 80s when that was scarier back then. And she's been dealing with this. And now her daughter is going out into the world and doing this stuff. And her daughter obviously
isn't making good choices.
And that is probably very, very scary and upsetting.
Sure.
So, okay. We love our moms, but yeah, there's got to be a balance.
Be nice to us.
Yeah.
All right.
Mom, I love you very much.
I love you too, Nancy. Anyway, do you want to know about the Spader of it all?
I do.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Because it's a direct connect.
I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
I think we've used it before, perhaps.
Okay.
But I miss Sally Field.
Oh.
In the movie Lincoln.
Yes.
With James Spader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Direct connect. Isn't that what it's supposed to say?
It is what it's supposed to say.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. But you know what? Thank you for watching this movie. And you guys, thank you for being our friends and for listening to us be just these crazy women that we are. And for following us on our intranets and for doing all the things.
Yeah. Make sure you look at our website because we do update it every week, despite the fact that you never come. And it's called confidentlycontroversial.com.
Well, they're finding us other places. They're on our YouTube and they're on our Instagram and they're on our TikTok. So we have people.
Right.
Yep.
And so we hope that you have a great week.
We do. And hey, listen, here's another thing.
Okay.
We're going to take a picture. Not now, but I was fully like, oh, you got to take a picture of me in my new sweatshirt. We'll put it up on Instagram or something. We're not doing that because I am now just a big mess. My face is all
You
swollen.
take a picture of just your boobs.
Just my boobs. But at some point, we'll take a picture of, maybe we'll just from the chin down.
Oh, sure. Chin
down.
That's what I want to picture, my neck.
Yes, my chin down in my sweatshirt. And you guys let us know if you like them. Maybe we'll sell some to you.
Yeah, maybe.
They're really nice. I really like it.
It's cues.
Right.
All right. So, when you're going about your life,
be confident and don't let, medical conditions or other things hold you back from living the life you want to live while you're here.
Okay.
That's not
all right, runner.
That's not the direction you wanted me to go in.
No.
Okay.
I wanted you to say that you should live your best Weezer life.
Yeah, you should.
And you should be confident in the controversial things that you say. And just, we don't give a fuck.
No, man, we don't give a fuck.
You know who else doesn't give a fuck?
Okay.
Bunky DePew.
All right, Bunky DePew. Bye, guys.
Controversial. Confident.